Okay, we are calling the meeting of the Parks Committee to order at 4:01 on Wednesday, August 13th. Can we have the roll call, please?
Chair Quinn.
Here.
Marlene.
Here.
Here.
Tracy. Here. Ed.
Here.
Paul.
Here.
Danette.
Here.
Village Administrator Dan Green.
Here.
And Jasmine, Deputy Clerk, to record minutes.
Awesome, thank you.
Mike
We
will
can-
be here, he's just a couple minutes late.
Okay, great. If we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mike? There's nobody present, anybody on Zoom for?
No one on Zoom.
No one on Zoom. Next on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the June 11th Parks meeting. Does anybody have any comments or corrections to the notes?
Nope.
Nope. Can somebody make a motion then, please?
So move.
Second, Marlene, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, moving right along, correspondence. Anybody maybe, well, I see kind of correspondence going on down there.
Those are the thank you cards.
Yep. Anybody else? Anything? Okay, awesome. Mike, you're up.
So we finished up the 2025 baseball season at the end of July at 87 practices, 94 games. This season, I've been working at spraying and mulching all the parks around trees and flower beds. Around the spring weeds, it all started so far. We did some stone grinding here at Village Hall. Restoration work from stone grinding. Did have some down trees, storms. Did that on the vent track for about a week. Did a lot of rough money down. Did all the playground walls, all the playgrounds. Plastic pitch, playground deck. All of baseball backstop.
I'd like to add this, there's. Of all of the years I've lived next to the park, it has never looked as good as it has been looking in the last couple of weeks. I walk through the park on a regular basis, and what you and your crew have done is really looks great, so my hat's off to you, well done.
I will actually second that because I walked by Lisbon or
Get busy.
my God, I can't even think of the name. Park in my neighborhood. Yeah, it's been a long day. But I walk by there all the time and it always looks great, Mike. You can tell the mulch is new. It smells good. Yeah, it's like, oh, that
Everything
mulch
looks
smell.
great.
Yeah, so good job.
The playground looks good with what you've done cleaning that up.
Yes.
Like for those babies or babe when some of the playgrounds are cold, is that what it was for? Because you were doing that.
Yeah, we sprayed a lot of weeds in there and then.
So our deluge of rain didn't damage or flood anything too much at any of the parks?
There's a lot of flooding, yeah.
Oh, I bet it's-
Damage wise.
It's kind of interesting to see where there's still standing water, actually.
Yeah, so many Elquest, one off the K.
Yeah.
That was.
Wow.
You don't realize where there's low areas until the water gets in there and you're like, wow.
Trails to the LCP, woods, that lower trail, that's got.
Yeah, and the ground is so saturated, it's not really going anywhere fast.
No.
Yeah.
What about that walkway out Victoria, like one of those, is that covered or is it gone?
I had a lady email me, said that a couple boards popped up, I couldn't even make it down there. It was my boots, I wasn't.
Didn't we have, I'm trying to think, it was like last year we had talked about that that it needed, like some serious repair, or was it just,
It's,
and is that an us thing or is that a county thing or who, that's an us thing?
I think we were contemplating if it needs a extended amount of repair that we could completely,
Hmm,
there's other ways to access that besides that, it's really just for that subdivision. And given that it could potentially be a safety issue walking on that, if it's not completely up to par and somebody steps on that goes to nail or falls off or whatever the case may be. So, we'll see what kind of shape it's in once the water goes down.
And if my memory serves me correct, that was a Boy Scout project to begin with, wasn't it? So it was built with the Boy Scout just building it compared to what someone would expect for something that a village would own and be.
that's where it all stems from. It just was never built, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna add the footing scenario on that walkway is not good. Now, I don't know how many feet you'd have to go down for the footings, because that's why it's basically,
They used, mailbox, like posts for mailboxes.
yeah,
The spikes that put the ground there.
okay,
But
no.
that's what they use for-
no, because it's definitely, it's floating as it gets closer to the bug line. You did, whoever worked on that, Mike, did a good job, as much as you could do.
mhm.
But yeah, might even down the road question the feasibility of just connecting one subdivision to the bug line. Cause I think to do that right, we're looking at a lot of money. You know,
maybe it can be an Eagle project for somebody.
good luck. They're gonna have a lot of energy.
Well, that's what it was the Eagle project.
Yeah, it was originally,
Originally.
but I mean, we're talking about a heck of a lot of work.
Volunteers at the park committee or the.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
You were looking for a hobby.
Okay, well, worth a shot, right?
you guys can go jumping though, you know what? All right, let me do this right.
What do you say, lipstick on the paint?
Lipstick on a pig.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. All right, oh, sorry, Danette.
Moving on.
So if we're gonna redo that, maybe get rid of the obstruction, because when you're on that boardwalk, you can't see if people are coming along where they're going from like 90 degree.
Yeah. You know, we could do, let's put it on a future agenda, maybe next time agenda, we can do a little, maybe Mike, you could do a survey of it as best you can. And just will, I don't know, just Dan, I don't know what your thought is on that. Just take a look and see if it's even something we want to. Even
Probably
if,
have to wait a couple weeks, for the water goes down, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
put on your
yeah,
scuba
it's gonna
gear.
take a while. That's all wetland.
Oh, geez. Oh,
Yeah,
Is that for
Just put a doc-
cost of building
put a
it too,
docket.
or materials just
No, that's the cost to install it.
install it, build? Okay,
yeah. And for the record, and Mike, as far as this committee is concerned and for et cetera, looking back, looking forward, I would, if we're talking about a quantum of money, I would much rather see the pathway along Lake 5 paved than to put a lot of money into that walk.
yeah.
yes.
I mean, it exponentially for the return to the community, considering how that's being utilized and the people that are now going towards obviously the bug line,
Yeah,
it's, a slam dunk,
that gets a lot of.
Anyway.
activity.
Okay.
just so it's on the record.
Okay, yep, and I'm assuming that'll be in our budget talks or
Um,
not, or,
Well, there's another piece of that will be in our budget talks regarding Lake 5 Bridge. But you kind of going up to that,
yeah,
so. we can talk about that.
okay, awesome. Dan, you wanna take it away?
So the board approved an RFP to go to a few engineering companies and kind of part. firms, I guess, I don't know what you call them. So I sent that RFP out last week. Friday. August 1st, whatever that was. So I know that both our current engineer or planning engineering company is working on a response. I know architecture is also working on a response. I haven't gotten any other follow-up from the other companies. I sent it to R.A. Smith, Rupert and Milky, and a couple other ones. Haven't heard anything from them yet, but sounds like I will probably get at least 2 responses between architecture and both. I did talk to Oren, who's our planner today. He said that he may put an addendum to also work on our park improvement plan, which expires in 2026. So it would be a good idea that whatever they propose for, whether it's pavilions or playgrounds or whatever it is, also is reflected in our 2026 plan. So I will await those and hopefully report back to the board or, well, to both the parks and the board. I also got an email from KEI a couple days ago saying that they still haven't started their baseball field because of the obvious flooding, which caused issues at their other baseball diamonds. So he's been keeping me updated every week now. Our village president kind of went over his head, talked to the president of the company, who then got back to our representative. So he's been keeping me in touch, but as of right now, nothing's started yet.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's with most projects right now.
Yeah, I mean, I still question that all summer they've had pretty good weather to finish that project, but give them some grace for this piece of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we expected it to have a baseball field.
So is that gonna hurt for next year for,
I don't know,
possibly?
I mean, if they get started in the next 2 weeks, I'm assuming not, but if they're still working on projects through the end of September, then I don't know. I
the
can't
weather?
think that they could still start.
I would say by middle of September, if they're not putting grass seed down, you're probably not gonna have grass seed for the start of the season next year. Not saying that possibly by, you know, they can start using it. But definitely not. Clock's ticking.
And I'm thinking that if they're not gonna even start until mid-September, which I hope is the case, that maybe we include this baseball diamond as part of the overall, the big parks project that we have going on, and maybe cancel it, KEI, start the rush with the rest of it.
I would agree with that. Because we've got a lot to look
Yeah.
at. A question I wanted to ask would be, I want to call it a sidewalk, but it's not, it's that gravel path along Lake 5 Road. It goes from the cemetery down to park. Is that considered park material? I mean, a park project if that was paved, or is that with the
I would-
highway?
Yeah, it's more of a highway, it's like the right of way, the road, so, and it's not on, it's your park land.
Cause I know the park would mow it. My question would be either way, if it's on the highway budget. Should strongly consider that on the highway department. I don't know how much the highway department talks about that like we do in the park department. But that's one of the highest things that, as I talk to people, it feeds a lot, not only the bug line, but the playground and the like, and they're coming on their young kids on their bikes down that hill, or mothers pushing strollers, you know, and it's bouncing like this, or trying to get up the hill.
Yeah, it's something we can consider. We're having a capital discussion tonight after the board meeting, so. we can-
Be added either one or the other, so it's brought up.
Dan, if I can ask, in terms of the capital outlays on the baseball field, is there any cutoff point or sunset on the monies?
Well, we budgeted for ARPA funds to use for the baseball diamond. for this year. That's what it was said to do. So that's why I'm apprehensive in just letting it go and why, you know, I've let it be delayed for this long.
Mm-hmm.
I think if not, that money will just be diverted to another contract and then we'll have that report to the Department of Treasury. We report it.
Okay.
Uh,
If that should happen, in other words, that the monies would have to, because I mean, with most projects, there are obviously stipulations as to when there's a cutoff point on how long the monies will be available. If that should happen, which I hope it doesn't, considering how much effort has gone into the discussion on this baseball field, the playground equipment that's in LSP needs to be replaced.
Yeah, that's all part of the RFP process for our park.
The what, please?
The RFP process for the park improvement plan. that we
Okay.
Talked about, so that's playground equipment, all that stuff is gonna be part of what that scope is.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that'll be part of the discussion for tonight, but as far as the baseball diamond goes, for now, I'll just leave it at wait and see, and then we'll give a report at the next meeting.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, 2 points. Getting back to, the Golden, at our last meeting, June 11th. You said the expected start date was June 22nd. This. I guess I'm just curious, it's, almost 2 months later. What do they, what's their responsibility of keeping you abreast of how things are going? It just seems it's just been getting kicked down the road over and over and over. Now it's the water. It's always been something. It was late spring, it was this, it was that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of asking about it. Still don't have it. People want to use it. And if the price goes up, like you said, the money's not used this year, what happens to that? Are they rolled or something else? And what if there's a price increase and then we go with another company? What does this first company that we have a contract with, what's their responsibility and signing a contract and then not following you? They're reneging on it. I'm just curious.
So I looked for the contract, and Paula, I don't know if you know whether or not we actually went into a signed contract with KEI, or if it was here's the quote and.
It was
we'll
my-
do the work,
Oh,
because I looked for a signed contract, I can't find it, like, I don't know if you know anything.
Hallelujah, it's a hand of God, as far as I'm
Because
concerned.
they provided us with the specs for the park, and I've seen all
You
of
may
that.
yet
and-
get your.
But I have not seen a signed
Sure.
Other
contract.
projects we've done, we've always signed a contract. I can't imagine there's not one for
But
this.
we haven't, and we also have paid them in money yet. So obviously we haven't
Yeah.
paid it plus the rent.
they're not getting funds.
No.
Because the rumor of the community hazard is that those funds were a COVID fund, whatever, and that those monies have to be used in.
Sunset.
They had to be designated by 24, used by 26.
So
Yeah.
is that part of it?
That is
So
part
that
of the funds, yeah.
So use by 26 or
They have to be used by the end of
26, so.
But
It's just.
since there's no contract, it could be the larger, greater park overview that you're talking about. Looking at everything and not only the baseball diamond now, but the playground equipment and the other parks.
No,
upgrades and
I mean, it's reported to ARPA that we were going to use specific dollar amount for the baseball time. Specific. So. That's what it's reported to the department, right? So I'm still holding hope that they will begin in mid-August or next week or whatever, but they were supposed to start this week and flooding happened. And I know, I agree. I'm sick of hearing next week, no next week. They do have a pretty big project in Dousman that they're trying to finish. We're gonna start with us. We're next in line. And now the president of the company is also been looped in too, so he's been succeeded. That's not back and forth.
And then, the second thing, going back to, that, the area that we'd like to have paving, so yeah, coming down the hill, entering, to the road. Back in the day, I thought our town, village, where we were at that point, there was grant money for that. There were some monies available for that. Who were, all of our elected officials at that point said, no, they weren't going to support that. And if they had the right to say no then, was it not a park issue versus a county issue? I guess I'm curious, who really would be responsible for either writing the grant or securing those funds and overseeing that? Because now I'm hearing it might be county. And in the past, for our town or village to say no to it, it sounds like it was a town or village.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about. I know when I first got on the board, they had talked about that strip to pave that.
Right.
And there were monies available, but the amount of money available didn't even come close to covering the whole cost of it. So during the budget portion of that year, they didn't want to add, and I forget what the dollars were, but it was a few $100,000. It was a significant amount of money. Now, I'm not sure if that's the money that was the monies that you're talking about.
Yes, I didn't,
Yeah.
I'm not privy to what dollar amounts were that grant or what was it. And
I'd have to look back. I don't remember. I know it was a substantial amount of money
It just
though.
seems, you know, since we lost that money, and that was like free money.
You know what, when part of this came up, didn't part of this discussion come up too with the snowmobile club? Because if we did do the paving of the path, there was some turn or some over driveways or some issues with that.
Yeah,
Well, that's-
Sussex sled bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sled bugs.
That would rule
was
it out
involved.
100%. They couldn't come down if it was paved.
Oh.
They
Yeah, I know
were-
there-
they
there's
were
been
gonna
some, there's
use
been
it
a lot of
little bit.
discussion. I know there's been discussion around it, but
if it
we'll,
was
we'll
gravel.
look back into it. Cause I agree. I mean, I live right over there, so I'd love to have that paved personal. I mean, as a personal thing, I'd love to have it paved, but we have to be good stewards of money too, cause that's
But if they
expensive
can
to
put-
do.
A baseball diamond, absolutely nobody in the past year that I talked to have mentioned to me one word about the baseball diamond. That where is it? But they talk about the path and they talk about the toilets
Hmm.
are the two things that are on people's minds. Nobody talks about the baseball diamond.
Just as an aside, part of what Dan put in the RFP too was for whichever company that we decide to go with, they're gonna survey we're gonna send like an actual well-designed survey that's gonna go out to the residents of Lisbon.
Yeah,
So, you know,
that's
because
important.
it's, I mean, if the bottom line is it's gonna be tax money that's gonna be spent, so do people wanna see pickleball? Do people wanna see all these other things that could possibly go in there? So, yeah.
Pickleball in Sussex is always popular.
oh yeah.
This court is filled all the time.
I feel like the minute we build pickleball courts, it will become like,
It'll
nobody will play
die.
it.
Yeah,
It'll be done.
it's very, very hard following trends.
Right,
And we all know, with a hard site or that's a hard construction project and it's difficult. I mean, baseball seems timely, basketball seems timely. I don't know about pickleball.
Well, the ice rink is a conversion to pickleball. You gotta do something with that. You got a base.
Well,
well, and
That's
just as a
another-
note on the basketball thing, the basketball court that's over at Lisbon Oaks, I
Sure.
see people playing on that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's a
good.
thing. That was a
thank
good
you for
thing.
bringing the eyes on looking on, because I haven't been to Lisbon Oaks in probably 6 months.
Hmm.
So anywho,
I walk by there a lot.
right, moving on.
Anybody have any other questions for Dan about the status of the parks improvement thing? No? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to new business, discussion regarding the debriefing and eval of the 2025 Community Festival and ideas for future. Who would like to kick this one off? Danette, since you were the grand poobah, why don't you kick this off on us?
Yeah, you did a good job.
You did a good
Yeah.
job. I know you were, I
Yes.
know it was a little hectic, but you managed it well.
If anybody else.
Yeah, well, she thinks.
Well, the weather was
comment that
perfect.
I wanted to share is it was obvious that the community fest well served the young families in the community.
Hmm.
And that was the single biggest demographic would be young families with kids, moms and dads and grandpa and grandpas and kids coming. And as we plan for the future, we should plan how to make it bigger to compete with church festivals or Sussex, what they do, or other things on a grand scale. We should, how to make it, continue to have the vision, how to make it family friendly and get that demographic of the toddler who's beginning to walk. He maybe 10 years old, 12 years old is probably the cutoff. There were very few teenagers that would come, very, very few. But little kids beginning to walk with their mom and dad and pushing the stroller maybe.
You're really into that little kid thing.
Well, that's
Congratulations.
what you see, but that's what you
Yeah,
see.
no, that demographic was very much at the festival that day. The bouncy houses, I mean, just going around, the
Yeah.
bouncy houses adequate. Of course, the climbing wall was not there. The vendors, excellent. I think we had just the, the right amount of vendors as far as serving our population.
Mhm.
The band, I could put them on a continual contract.
Yeah, they were good.
Because they were good, they played good music, they entertained the crowd. The Taekwondo or whatever that they are,
Jake Haley, yeah.
J.K. Lee, thank you, sorry. Excellent, and they adapted very well to doing their thing on the grass between where people were seated
Mhm.
and where the band was set up.
Mm.
I don't know, for those of us who were up on the horses, it kind of wore me out, but it was a long day, but what we had, as Paul just said, the demographic we were dealing with, it was perfect.
Mhm.
Like the petting zoo,
Mhm.
I mean, that, in just observing what I had a chance to see. And so we would be proud of the fact that even though, no, we're not gonna be able to compete with Sussex.
No,
They're just galloping off
and
into
we didn't
whatever.
want to.
Well, we don't have the resources, I mean, period. I think we did a very good job in serving the people who were there and showed up.
Mhm.
Especially, we always worry about our vendor situation. If those vendors can come back, given the kettle corn, and there was two other entities that were serving food,
Mhm.
plus in the shelter, we had it covered. It was done,
Yeah.
and it was done
It was
correctly.
done nice.
Yeah, what was it, the Milwaukee Meats or whatever, they were excellent.
Yeah.
Very
nice.
fairly priced.
Very-
Everybody raved about the food. The food was
Very
great.
good
Mm.
price point and very polite.
He
Right.
sent me a thank you the next day. Basically, thanks for, giving me the opportunity. My grandkids and my family came and
Oh,
they really enjoyed it.
It was a great day too. What a beautiful day it was.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
weather was perfect. But bottom line is I think overall, we weren't with our continual, do we have enough people? I mean, the parking, et cetera, well done. Thank God for people who will step up and do that, because it's thankless. And for those, for us that were going around, we had just enough people power to serve the people that did show up. For example, with the thing we did with the night out, if we had had the volume of people I saw that night, we couldn't have handled it at LCP. We would have been overwhelmed.
The community fest, they had a number of volunteers that came. I was at the bouncy house the whole afternoon or the whole day, and they had two different Boy Scout troops, people who responded, and they had Grace Hill Church that responded. And both of those groups, the Boy Scouts and the church group, provided valuable just oversight with the bouncy house.
Yeah, Grace Hill Church ran our inflatables, wasn't that Grace Hill Church? The pastor and his crew did all the inflatables for us. Wasn't that Grace Hill Church? Didn't it?
That was,
That had everybody
inflatables.
down at the inflatable.
I don't know.
This
Yeah.
is here, yeah,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
there was one of the Meisner family
Yeah,
that were down there.
Yeah, all the names I think I can put on that,
Yeah,
on the thank you there.
and
So
they were
Andrew,
good,
Andrew,
very
the
good.
day, it was like the husband and wife. Their two kids,
Kids.
and then one other person came a little bit
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
and then one boy from the one troop
One
13.
troop, yeah, he
and then
was
the
very
troop-
good.
Then
yeah.
the troop 47 was what dad with
Was
like
the
two
dad with a
kids.
couple of kids, yeah. And they were all polite and good.
Well, this way we were able to also switch and move around a little bit, which helped,
Yeah.
I mean, I went up and replaced you on the horses after a while.
Thank you
And
very
then,
much.
and then you went and you got your food. I mean, everybody was able to go get their food. that meat and sausage guy, he gave food to every single person that helped.
Okay,
That came out of his own pocket,
Yep.
so.
yeah.
The one note I did make that I wrote down, Ed, was that you need to write your speech down. So if you're not on the wagon, somebody has to give your speech on the wagon. So you gotta can that thing.
Well, I went with them once and I listened to it. So then when I did the rest of it, then I was able to remember most of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. And everybody's very interested. I mean, it's not like, it's good info.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I try and obviously change it up a bit, or I'd go stale,
So
so.
we talked about, a lot of people asked about that nursery, that fenced in area. and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all put little pointers out that there's like 2 full-time guys that do all of
All this
these
work, yeah.
parks and they're just.
I
I guess
did,
With a couple college interns, but.
I did mention that. Yeah, not everything on the planet is on Facebook.
Uh.
So I enjoy
Mm.
adding the scenarios with LCP,
Mm.
because I mean, for the parks and for Lisbon, it has a long history and very important. So,
So one
Glad
of
to
the other notes,
contribute.
one of the other notes I had made was the car show was missed. I heard there was people they're talking about, they wanted to see the car show, but then that brings a different
Clientele,
clientele in.
yeah.
you know,
I mean, I do like the idea of, keeping it very family friendly. And if that's where we want to cap it, I think we should, but if we want to expand it at all. Then I think we need to think about other stuff. So we'll leave it up, we'll have discussions, of course, what we want to do. I mean, to your point, how many more people can we accommodate with parking and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, we filled parking almost to the max again
Yeah,
of what was convenient volume. And if we didn't have the auxiliary there, they were a great help again. The auxiliary, sheriff's auxiliary,
Mm.
of moving the cars in and out of available
Yeah.
spaces.
If we want to keep asking Flight for Life to possibly come, if it works their schedule, then we can't do classic cars, because that's the same spot, right?
yes,
oh, you're right, yeah.
You
can
move the cars further west.
It just, I don't know, just a thought, so.
It all depends how many cars you
Right.
get.
And I echo what you're saying. I think everything was great. The only 2 things that I would do, because I know we're looking to improve it. Signage down below
Mhm.
instructing people to go up to the petting zoo and the wagon ride.
Yes, yeah,
Because the people, some of them just didn't know. So I mean, I walked over and I would just say, don't forget, there's a petting zoo over
Yeah.
there. Don't forget the horses. And they're like, huh? They didn't
Yeah.
know. So if we could just have a big, like a lot of signage, how they go. There was a little sign, but I think we need much more.
right
It has
at,
to be
right at the
clear
top of
about
the hill, that's right, where
Where
the auxiliary was set up with their tent.
Right, it's gotta be there.
A nice big sandwich sign up there.
And that way, more people will access that. Now, I did have the band announce it twice, but if you're not there to hear the band and you're not listening to them or whatever,
Yeah.
you might not hear that announcement. So I think just a big signage about those 2 things. would be
Yeah.
great.
I think down below would be good. I also think it would be good right at the top of the road where people park and they have to walk down the road. They could say like horse and petting,
Yeah.
horse drawn carriage and petting zoo this way, everything else that way. So they'll see, oh, there's 2 separate things.
Yeah,
There was 4 areas that were, I made notes on it. One is as you're going into the park before you turn down, big sign right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one going into the bouncy house area.
Yeah.
Going up to the hill, another one there and another one by the food lane.
Right.
But where
That
the,
would help.
yeah.
yeah.
So we need 4 A-frame signs.
Behind.
I might,
those- those
you're
stuff.
getting, you're
Winter
getting the
project.
winter project, 4 A-frame signs. And they can be used again every year,
For us.
you know.
Those are-
Marlene, was one of the signs back where the little sledding hill is?
Yeah, it's usually where the one,
Was
at the bottom of
was
the
one
hill.
that
is
you
the
had
one.
mentioned on that board?
Yeah, at the bottom of the hill, at the sledding hill,
At the
and then,
sledding, right,
just
because
as
when
you're
you're
coming,
back
yeah.
by the music, you can go
Yeah.
up that back way up there.
The other thing, there was an overlap of conflict for scheduling between the dancers and when the band was going to start. And so, the band wanted to play, musicians want to play the same. But we also didn't want to push, the girls that were there, and there was one boy as well, with their chance to perform. So I think next year, let's make sure that it's scheduled so that we're not handing one early and delaying the other. I mean, the band was fine with that, but I said, okay, I said at 11:20, you're starting. You know, when they normally, or they would have started at, on the hour.
The dancing schedule got delayed because Paula was really involved with stuff going on. It didn't get a response back.
Okay, yeah.
And when she got the response back, it was like the week before.
And they had to start early because they were all leaving for,
And that,
had
they
to
should have
look for
just been
something they
negated.
had to know. It's just, you know. I mean,
she was very accommodating, the girl.
very much,
She
yeah,
was
very
really
much.
nice. She was
And
really
I
nice to
felt-
work
I
with.
just didn't want to be offensive to
Yeah.
them because parents and
Yeah.
kids, they made an effort to get there and we didn't want to cut off.
The scheduling for that has to
But the
be,
band's also, are we gonna play? Let's play.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the problem was too, is they chose to be in the grass, which was where the band was. If they had their own spot farther away, they could have done it simultaneously,
Yes.
but because they were sharing the same space, that was the problem. Cause the original thought was not to have them where they were, but they chose to go somewhere else.
So, you know, just throwing it out for next year.
So we were, actually, I talked to Mike briefly about this. So instead of a stage, we were thinking about seeing if we can get a dance floor, because a dance floor would be a lot cheaper. You could make it bigger and then they could operate on that, because right now they don't want to be on they don't want to bring their mats and put them on the asphalt because it'll tear them up. They don't want to, they do moves that are on the ground, so they can't, do breakdancing things on the asphalt, and the grass is a better thing. So if they could get
Yeah.
like a dance
It's more
floor situation
absorbent,
on there, it would be better. So we're looking into that for next year.
And they looked pretty cool on the grass when they were chopping the blocks and all that stuff. I mean, what else they do, right?
yeah.
Break wood
The-
apart.
The only,
Yeah. She said she would definitely come back next year. She thought it was great.
we just have to find a different spot for them.
Right.
Beforehand, not the day of.
Mhm.
The other thing is, I was talking to some different people. The help has to be gotten from the town village on breaking everything down. By the end of the day, I know I wasn't there this last year, but the years before, if we're there at 9 in the morning, by 4 o'clock at night, we're dead. And I know I've talked to several people, we need help from either highway. I hear some the college kids who help out in the summer, but that's gotta go on the budget to be brought in. For an hour, say 4 to 5, I don't know, what does it take to break
Doesn't even take, I
down?
mean, normally we get that done like in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
That-
Yeah.
it went pretty smoothly. Yeah,
So-
that went pretty smooth.
But
But I agree,
it,
get
you
some
need
help for
muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you got newer tents done,
Instead of those dopey cord things.
they have like easy up style tents.
Oh,
Yeah.
They go up and get in a half down in
Oh,
the same.
And here we are.
They cost
down
money,
the
but
pipes and all that.
yeah, they're same size, 10 by 20.
Well, I also think we were kind of moving around in a pack, like everybody was trying to do the same thing at once. I think if we said, okay, you do this, like, and we had it like organized better, I think it would have been better. Cause everybody's kind of grabbing stuff because everybody wanted to help and get it done, but I think we could have
Yeah,
organized it better.
but
too.
Paul, Mike has a point, because basically to take those tents down or put them up that we currently have in our inventory is very labor intensive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can just tell. I mean, just to pull those poles apart, so.
Now, is that something,
Taking them down is bad, I'm gonna help with the ball, that's.
Because
I'll let you tell you.
He does all of the put up for the most part.
It's too
Don't
small.
put up.
Yeah,
against
well,
it.
with all those
Mike, is
cords,
that
Yeah.
something you can put in the
Put up.
budget to
Taking them
replace
down is
those?
easy.
What does the offset cost to have help come in, say 1 or 2 guys or gals? Or get new tents?
College kids is 50-50. I mean, cause a lot of them are gone, they're all, they're drinking age, they're.
Well, highway guys,
But DPW would be the ones that could possibly come.
Mhm.
Was there, but he left, he was brilliant. So his father's big, but yeah,
That's the other thing is that, are we set on Father's Day weekend every time? It's,
yeah, I think it's something that has been programmed in.
it just makes it harder to find people.
People,
Yeah,
yeah.
even that they.
And if it's going to be the Father's Day, there should be a little bit of time in our future planning recognition of Father's Day celebration, as long as we're trying to focus on that family type of thing. Just a thought too.
Well, is everybody tied to that weekend? I mean, are we?
I think we talked about that already. You start hitting your If you
Oh,
want your days or your
graduations,
Sussex
yeah, the
days,
high
you
school
got-
There is.
Yeah, you got
graduations.
graduations for the colleges and the high
That
schools
was-
before that.
That was the best weekend when we started.
Well, if-
Yeah,
and we just, by the luck of the draw, Father's Day came early.
Oh, that's
And
right.
often Father's Day is real late, you know, the 21st or something. It depends on that cycle because it's the third Sunday of the month all of the time.
And next year, Father's Day is on June 21st.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. And this past year it was, we had our community fest on the 14th, yeah. It came
So if you
perfect.
start pushing it in, then you start getting into your summer fest and,
You know, it was a weird day this year, because even if your signage, like, it happened to be the one day that it wasn't.
Right. It was the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm,
Is there a science like the third weekend?
Yeah.
right.
historic.
It's actually, the 14th.
I would,
Because
I
the
would,
first was on Sunday.
On a Sunday, that's why Father's Day was so early.
No.
Maybe the third.
Yeah.
with
Well,
guys, with the number of municipalities and pushing things like that day, there was Monchus had a big chicken fest, yada, yada, yada. We should stick with the date we have, because
Mhm.
it helps people down the road continuity, speaking of families, go, yes, we can set that Saturday aside.
Well, it'd be the second Saturday of June then is what we went.
Yeah.
Father's Day, just because it started on a Sunday, Father's Day was that split weekend. That
Yeah.
the
Well, no
14th.
deference to all the dads in the
Yeah.
room, but
Yeah,
we're not, it's not Father's Day, Paul, it's our community fest.
and then
Yeah.
Father's Day, what I'm saying is happens seldom. Because
no.
of just the way it falls that
There's
Sunday.
so much going on,
If-
you just, you
if we
pick your
stick
date.
20th,
If we
boom.
stick
Yeah.
with the second Saturday, we won't have that confusion, and then I'm with you. And Father's Day doesn't come that often, but only because.
Once a year.
Yeah.
But not
Next year,
back
I'll-
into the
I'll
second
come in.
Saturday.
No,
Later
Paul,
on, and help
I don't wanna talk about
Take
Father's
things
Day.
down, and then I'll also have. the checks for vendors,
Yeah,
just like
next year,
that.
Father's Day's
Okay.
on the 21st.
Yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
try and rustle up another. guy or
See if we can get another guy or two.
next, I think my husband came, and I think Kelly's husband.
Yeah,
I think
some of the
Kelly's
husbands
husband was
came.
there too.
Yeah, people power is always an issue, whether it's putting up stuff. Cause Mike, when you put those tents up, what did you have? Yourself and one other person and the college students?
I have 3 college kids, Jeff and myself.
Okay, so there was 5. All right. Yeah, cause you can just tell, putting those up is a lot of work.
Yeah, and.
The
and
tents
that's
we have.
important With that style is not mixing up the pieces.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Each tent goes in each box, and then if you're missing parts, or if we find them in 2 other boxes, trying to figure
Yeah.
out where someone else threw them, or,
Hmm.
extra parts, it's just a nightmare. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully we packed them, so it's easier if we're back to using them next year. You know,
Well, I guess, can you find out what it would cost to replace the tents then?
Yeah, I've looked it up, it's right around 400 to 510, they kind of fluctuate,
And how many would we need?
usually put, 3, 5 of the 10 by 20s and 1 of the 12 by 26. It seems like we're always extra this year, like the kind of guy. So, but that- by the base,
Mhm.
you can always use more. Even put more out by the band area, because then most of the people that I see going over by the band are there to eat.
Yes.
They want to, yeah, they want us in the shade. Yeah.
sure.
So obviously more tents for more shade. So
Mike, why don't you put in for some new tents? And even if we get half this year and half year after,
Yeah. Yeah, that's,
if you don't ask, you don't, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say,
The other, like. Bank tents that you have that fit in the tables.
the umbrellas.
So you still have those.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's handy for eating.
Yeah.
They some tents that just are like 15 by 15, where you have the posts at the corners and posts at the centers.
pull them and
one
they
long
line up.
one. And you use stakes, just put them in the ground. Like a tent, give or they sell them.
What about renting tents? Would it be, if you're gonna do that, would you, if you rented them? I mean, I don't know if it would be worth it, but then you'd have people come and put them up and take them down. for you.
Area
You know,
rental
it's a
dollar
storm.
bill, that's the.
That's right, or loose stuff.
They're usually $200 to $300, but then you have a delivery cost, a setup cost, so like you might be paying $500 a tent just for rent.
Yeah.
Those can be expensive, but if they cost $400 to buy, it's
Mm,
pretty
when you
simple.
have them
setup.
consistently.
Yeah.
We should look into flooring. If we can get them set up another area for the dance.
Oh, yeah.
They're very safe.
Getting this organization, maybe that's just the one.
Well,
I
yes,
see people use
there
them for
is
people.
a gymnastics place that, Amy knows the woman, and I talked to her about it, she's gonna talk to her section, the dance studio, she are not in competition with each other, and they would love to do it all together. So we have JK Lee, the gymnastics people and the dance people, then you keep it busy all day. Yeah, and then it's worth if we have to pay $1,000 or whatever. for it.
Yeah, but they have to have a separate,
Right,
figure out separate areas.
yeah,
We'll have to work on.
yeah, I'm thinking that like
I bet it-
in that
like it's-
parking lot, like in the back corner of the parking lot,
Like,
because then I don't think the music would really
No.
interfere with each other. The only that's, I'll tell you what was, we should probably all have a.
Yeah, we should move on.
Here, seriously. Hey, guys, just super quick, I just want to make sure
We're drifting.
So no, Marlene was just asking about, the dance group wants to come back again. And she's got a friend who has a gymnastics studio that said that they would be interested, so if we have them, JK Lee and the dance studio, then we would have. Then we could, I would say justify the cost of getting something like the dance floor or something in there for them. But then Marlene was thinking, where do we put it? Now, I'll tell you one thing that was really good too, was all the firemen came, I mean, there's kids there the entire time putting on the equipment and crawling around in the truck, so I would not want to interrupt that at all. But I kind of see that as where kind of that dance floor could maybe go in the back corner of that parking lot without interfering too much with the big trucks that go in there, so I don't know how we could square that, I don't know, that's a thought.
Yeah.
You need a separate area.
Yeah, you'd have to have a firm base for it, yeah. Yeah, but the kids love the firemen with the whole thing, that was cool.
I get to sit in the ambulance and.
Yeah.
We'll have to make that area bigger.
Well, and again, I think the line for the face painters and the balloon people are always really long and it gets super congested in that area. We gotta do something different with that. We gotta move that
I
around.
think we
somehow.
talked about maybe doing like spray paint lines or something, so because they always tend to stack out towards they get in line and they're running into the inflatables, because when I went over there was a line, I'm like, we shift to the side this way and that way, and then that way at least people could walk on the path,
I don't know if lines on the ground would, maybe if we give like a theater roping or, police line, do not cross, kind of thing, tape, we could put up and kind of keep them herded in someplace.
Yeah,
Well, I think we'd have more luck than with something like a physical barrier, your waist height, than a line on the ground.
yeah, line on the ground, I don't think would work, possibly
No.
ropes on stanchions would work, possibly.
Yeah, or like
Or-
cones or something even.
Mhm.
And that's the tricky part, because the face painters are obviously super popular. Where do they go? So they're not bumping into the bouncy house thing.
Well, what about if we put them at the end and the line could go back the other way, like out the other way, instead of the line forming and heading back towards the enclosure, put them at the end and have the line go the other way, so you're pretty much unlimited with how far the line can go that way.
Or to the west.
Unless,
Yeah.
we get the
Possible.
rock climbing wall back.
I was just at a birthday party at Venture Rock last, not my birthday party. But I asked it.
Oh,
They
because
did Venture Rock,
Dan was talking that they were at that Sussex night out.
because I asked the guy, he's like, something about, he's like, you can make a reservation till August or something, but he's like, the one guy's like, we're not doing it after that. That's what he told me.
They didn't do it in June either.
Insurance.
Dan, did you climb the rock wall?
No, I didn't, the line. I
Uh,
didn't want it to tip on me. so-
Yeah. Excellent. All right,
Yeah, those two areas.
Yeah,
Any issues with the beer vendor at all, or did you hear anything about it?
No news is good news on that. I think he was good.
I think it was good that he had no issues with the band having their beverages, that was.
Okay.
Good. Even for us, if we wanted some, we could throw it, that's what we worked out, so I mean, once it was over.
Did we get a kickback from the beer vendor? Yeah.
Yeah, just it was under contract, it was a couple $100.
That's great.
We can't legally say a percentage of sales, so we just give them a flat number, so we got something for it.
The one note I did make was we weren't sure how the shaved ice and the tundra treats, did they end up doing okay? Cause I know the guy at the end I didn't see a lot of people like him a lot.
Yeah, Tundra Treats have to leave for something else, but when I talked to him, he said, no issue, because I have to go somewhere anyway. But I think him being right on that, yeah, he didn't get the backpack, he didn't get the.
Yeah.
backpack.
Yeah, I think if the kettle corn didn't have the snow cones, I think he probably would have done better. I think the kettle corn had all the flavors where you could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
would
it
we
does.
ask him back or would we just keep the snow cones with the kettle corn back? Cause the kettle corn was good.
Yeah, kettle corn is a no brainer.
That's
Yeah,
they're really.
cause they've got a big,
This is the one we got.
yeah,
Yeah.
cause they've got a big following, they're really popular.
What is the name of that
Here,
popsicle?
this one, here,
They're really.
should I pass it to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
Here.
Yeah, they've got like 4.9.
Aw, chill walking, how cute.
That was,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
They reached out to us to see,
okay, yeah, that'd be really good.
They ran out of cheese curds. I did make that note.
Oh, we did, I didn't know we were actually.
Ed needs to write his park speech out. I also put a note on here, Ed, about, do we want to do a head count for the wagon ride or just jam as many people on there as we can? Cause I know they're, that was kind of like cause I did like Kelly Go for a while and I was up there and it was like, everybody's kind of trying to crowd on there. We don't want little kids at the end and it's kind of, stacking the wagon is a little,
It's not an exact science. Whoever is, on the wagon has to determine, okay, that's enough. Yeah, because parents were what helped, of course, was having the little one sit in the parent's lap. All right, so that really helped. I don't know, I mean, I could certainly have I shouldn't say whoever's there could have a counter.
I don't know,
It's a lot.
maybe it's hard to, you have X number of adults and X number of kids you can put on.
Yeah,
but-
it varied. There was never an exact number each ride.
Yeah,
And I don't know how many rides were done that day. I'm thinking it was around maybe 20. I don't remember. I mean, we didn't
total
keep
rides,
total rides. I didn't keep track.
those horses walked around a boatload of times. They didn't
They were
stop.
about 15 minutes or 17 to load, ride and unload.
Yeah, we kept it under 20. The initial ride was more than that, and then we shortened the route almost immediately, which is just common sense. And went from there. But I could be very wrong about the 20. It could be higher to 30. I don't know.
Okay.
I just know whoever's on the wagon, if you do it X number of times, it beats you up. You have to be just, let's just say agile.
Well, maybe you could somebody does 2 loops and then there's like a team of 2, you do 2, I do 2, you do 2, I do.
Yeah,
2,
you could
something
do
like
that also, Yeah, and then again,
It got hot too.
it got very warm. I mean, but it's fun. It's something people really enjoy because other than that, they're not gonna have any exposure for the most part to horses. And the crew that was there this year was the woman and the gentleman were very cooperative,
Mhm.
very cooperative,
They
so.
gave us some history on the horses.
Yeah,
and-
Cadoo's out, Percheron or whatever. Ed doesn't know a Percheron from a what Ron, but it was very, interesting and educational for me when they were talking about the animals that day.
Maybe that's part of the spiel. Hey, just to let you know, we're on this wagon ride, pulled away these beautiful Percheron horses.
Yeah,
from
I incorporated
Belleville,
that after I found
yeah.
out what the horses were.
Yeah.
otherwise.
I made it on the last, I think one of the last rides, I finally
Yeah,
made it on.
They're Percherons and they were what, 15 and 17 years old and they were actually brothers and I forget their names.
Yeah, they were like Harvey and Paul or something. like
Yeah,
that.
it's terrible. I know,
Yeah,
I couldn't
Paul
get the
Hardy.
names right. but
That's probably what I was thinking of.
I think the
JR,
difference.
it was JR was one and I forget what the other one.
Oh, there you
is.
go, JR.
Yeah.
They had nice temperaments.
Mm.
The paying the vendors, we already talked about that.
But I think they were fine, you know, the balloon, the face painter, she contacted me and that was after, I think you guys had already got a response back that they were gonna go out Monday right away, so.
Yeah, that was my fault. Totally forgot about Dave.
No, I didn't think about it
Yeah,
either. We got them out Monday morning right away.
Yeah.
so.
Oh, the payments, yeah, a few vendors mentioned that,
Live and
but
learn.
thank you for handling that.
Was
Yeah.
Because
ready.
historically, we've given them a check as they were leaving.
Yeah, next year we'll do that. So I'll plan on coming in and helping on set or on take down things, and then I'll have the checks with me when I come.
That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah, that would work very well then. I mean, nobody was getting hot under the collar about it.
No,
Very
they
professional.
emailed me and were really nice about it.
Yeah.
Like Kurt Foods from, music.
Yeah.
He texted me as well and he said, got my check. Thank you, and, you know, but I told the bus for, you know, before we left, I said, check will be mailed on Monday. We got.
Checks in the mail.
Oh, yeah. One question before we get finished here, I did want to ask is there any other way we can think of to get the word out about the festival? Cause your point, Facebook isn't the everything, you know, I know we put a thing in the tax bills, you know, so maybe just think about if there's any other way, like if there's any other social media or flyers that we're gonna send, I don't know, whatever, just as a thing to think
Paul,
about, another way to.
Realistically, for, you know, Paul was obviously very importantly mentioning the demographic we were after. It's social media. I mean, posters, anything. I mean, it's nice that we have signage, but as Mike has said many times, the hinge signs we have, if we still using them, they have to go. Because they're finger smashers, realistically.
Don't have them.
Oh, you find, yeah, good
Mm.
for you. But down the road, I mean, any people under the age of 30, they're not looking at a poster, they're looking at their phone or their desktops. So
Okay, fair enough.
And then just, are we still in new business?
We're on, the,
I
We
thought we
haven't
were
done the
done.
bikes yet.
oh, geez.
Well, one thing I was gonna say.
Look at that.
Yep, sorry, go ahead.
You get these?
It's come to my attention that Kelly has resigned, so I just was gonna do a shout out, thank Kelly for serving like you did. for the Park Committee folks. Because if there's still a card, maybe we all wanna just sign our name to that, then that could be mailed to her as well.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a great
And
idea.
I'm just-
gift card.
It's a great addition,
Mm.
you know, she took care of a lot, and so we're gonna have to replace what she did.
She said she would still help out with
Yeah.
festival and stuff. She's got kids of that age where she's got sports all over the place and stuff going on, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
shout out to her.
Yep, yeah, thank you for bringing that.
That question, how many are we supposed to have on the committee under the village? Do we have enough now with Kelly gone?
Well, we had one alternate, so there's 7, right?
There's 7 and then there's no.
Yeah,
So we're missing an alternate.
So
So-
we'd be missing, yeah, if we appoint Paul as that person, then we would have to replace Paul.
Well, I've been on better than 2 terms already. And I was just mentioning to Ed, before we ran out of time when I was about to give my retirement speech. So, but in the meantime, until we fill it, and we should look at the committee, and some of us have been on for a long time. And Marlene, thank you. We couldn't be who we are without you and Danette stepping up like that. And
Well, and then
like,
I'm gonna throw out too, that I think we're putting an offering in my house up north, so then I would not be here either.
okay,
uh-oh.
so
We're gonna need new people.
It should be, right, something that we seriously begin to talk about. And Ed said he's good for another 15 years. Wasn't that?
No, I think 15 years from now, I'm gonna pause up,
We'll be propping that up in the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pause up.
But,
I'm done.
and who we can begin to think who would be good additions
Yeah,
on here.
yeah, please, by all means, do that, yeah.
They should be individuals more than just coming to sit, that they have some insight and,
Well, Marlene got me and Kelly.
Yeah. You have to ask your neighbors, especially people who are younger.
I have a great young couple that live next door that,
Ask them if they want to come in.
Actually, my neighbor Mary might be interested.
Oh, have her come.
I'll bring it up.
all right, are we going to, I think, can we just move the discussion for the motorized bikes to the next time, or do we want to do that quick?
Well, we can just give a quick update on it.
Yeah, go ahead then, yeah,
yeah, please.
Well,
do.
Mike can give a quick update.
all right.
Yeah.
So just real quick, they kind of talked with Dan about this a little bit, and it kind of sounds like in our, ordinances, there might be a bit of a gray area for what's, constitutes, an e-bike that pedal that is electric assist versus a bike that has no pedals that you can drift through a park or neighborhood street. But we have had, increased issues with kids on that style motorbike where
Yeah,
they use it like motocross and they're tearing up the trails, they're jumping the berms, they're,
Oh,
yeah.
you know, just really raising a ruckus.
They
in the
hurt
parks.
themselves.
So there's signage that we do have that needs to be replaced, but it still says Colin Lisbon on it, but it basically right now it just says no ATVs, snowmobiles or motorized vehicles. So it's very generic.
Hmm.
But I feel like we may need to look into updating or doing something with ordinances.
Absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
probably not gonna
Yeah,
read it.
I'm so glad.
Right, because I'm like, oh, we did this.
So what do they get, a
What's
ticket if
the-
they get caught doing that?
It sounds like right now,
They,
What?
they can't right now,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
Yeah. I'm so glad because I have conversations with those
Yeah.
people, the kids. And they say, well, what's the problem? It's,
they
you
have
know,
like.
they, and that's their response. Well, what's the problem? And, I. Look, but they're oblivious. They just say, well,
Yeah.
but if you have an ordinance or spell it out.
Then maybe put that on the, yeah, for the next one, and then Dan will work on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does anybody have any agenda items for the future for next month?
No, not I.
I think you should still put the Easter egg hunt and the festival. Because you're getting to be the end of the year, where we gotta start saying, hey, we gotta send notices out to the people
Put
for
them on there.
next year.
Yep.
So put those two on.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to close us out?
So move.
Okay, all in favor?
I.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're done at
We're up.
5:05.
Just outside of Panic.